to it. In the briefing today, you said that intelligence of the country has averted a lot of things, in your phrase. Could you tell us what are some of those things that have been averted by intelligence?
You know, usually I don't do what you're asking me to do because it's never done in intelligence circles. But I will indulge you, for instance, on one of that which we have averted, which was the energy transformer in Msunduzi local municipality. I can count quite a number of them, but even on gatherings where we have actually approached people to talk to them, I can give you examples of that. But as I say, in intelligence, really, we don't usually give out that type of information, but so that South Africans can have an idea of the fact that intelligence is hard at work. We have averted some, we have missed out on certain elements, but we have also provided the necessary information for law enforcement to take its course.
And I'm sure you will agree with me, Minister, that these are very irregular times that we are living in right now. And South Africans are asking, if our intelligence was on point as it is said to be, why is it that we're seeing looting to the scale unabated? Where was the intelligence for that?
Intelligence was always there. We have been providing information, both crime intelligence and SSA. But like you would know, the police are not going to be everywhere at the same time. Some targets shift, some will miss. It's not as if intelligence was not there. As I said earlier on, we have been providing the information that we could get from our collectors. We've done the analysis, we've passed the information on. But as I say, sometimes you lose, sometimes you don't. And there are instances where we have been able to avert. Like, for instance, part of the reason why you're not seeing this growth exponentially coming out of other provinces is the work that has been done. It's not as if nothing is being done completely.
So did you know, Minister, that shopping malls would be targeted to this level and scale?
Sorry, ma'am?
Did you know that shopping malls would be targeted in this manner?
There were shopping malls that we got information on, but of course we didn't get information on others. But as General Stolle had said, we don't only look at the information that we get as intelligence services. We also do an analysis of patterns of behavior of the looters. And in this particular instance, he did allude to the fact that they have been doing an analysis of the modus operandi so that it can help them then to deploy better. So the police have been doing that as well.
We heard Minister Cele saying that just because we do not see the police on the ground, it does not mean that work is being done. South Africans now are watching what's happening, and the police that are there are seemingly not doing anything to stop the looting. And the question that some are asking, Minister, is, does our intelligence have the capability to deal with...
Correlate. It's to package in such a way that it can help, number one, with deployment on the ground, but secondly, where it is that the police would need to deploy. As you would have heard from the President's address the other day, he came to a point where he decided that the police should be reinforced by the soldiers because the situation had become so much more untenable, and the situation continues unabated. The wanton destruction of property of others is completely unwarranted and without justification. How do we go about justifying the loss of life of those who tried to even quell the situation, to serve and to protect our people? This cannot continue, and the enforcement of the law must be supported by the reinforcement of the police in the provinces where we are experiencing these problems. And the President has correctly taken that decision and alluded to the fact that the police should be and will be reinforced, as is the case currently.
Minister Dlodlo, there's a disconnect here. There's a disconnect between the rhetoric that we're hearing from our leadership and from what we are seeing on the ground. You say that you knew about the intelligence, you knew that this would be happening. And so why is it that the intelligence that you say was handed over to law enforcement was actually not acted upon? Because from what South Africans are seeing right now, there is no law enforcement, at least no effective law enforcement.
I don't think it's correct to say there is no law enforcement. The police have said it themselves. They have been overstretched. And as a result of that, the president has decided to bring in the defense force to assist to reinforce the police. So it's not as if there's not been any law enforcement. And again, I will repeat, all we can do as state security is provide information that will help to determine the patterns of deployment and also where it is that deployment needs to happen. That's all that we can do. We do not have the mandate that you are suggesting in not so many words, that if the police are unable to do this or the soldiers are unable to do this or issues flare up more, then that translates to a failure of intelligence. That should differ. It does not.
I'd like to ask you before you leave, Minister, there are reports that you have confirmed that you have received information that former SSA agents and senior ANC leaders are part of the plans and part of the protests. Is this something that you can confirm, that actually this is something that you are investigating?
We have received the information, ma'am, and we are investigating that. And the law shall take its course, even with regards to that.
Minister Ayanda Dlodlo, we thank you for your time this afternoon.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.